Ottoman Empire is coming back. But not the Ottoman Empire. Turkey's going to become strong. Let's make Turkey great again. I had to say that. Now, what's the first thing they do in their mission? They invade Syria. It's literally just rubble. Pretty easy to invade rubble, if I'm being right. And they take it over. And they buy Russian jets. Oh, okay. Maybe they get embargoed. Maybe they don't. Ban embargoes! Embargoes are political. And well, they move into the north and realize, yeah, this wasn't a good idea. It's way too unstable. But eventually they're like, oh, yay, it's stable now because it's part of Turkey, which is stable. Because, well, they're stable, except for their ground. And now, where do we go next? Iraq, because America Iraqed it up. They say Iraq, they call themselves Iraq, because America racked them up. Literally. And then they got it. It's pretty easy to do this part. As they move into the Kurdish lands, because Turkey thinks they're part of the PKK. Which they probably are. But let's not say that. No conspiracies for 24 hours. Okay, that probably works. As they move in and take Baghdad, and they destroy the city. Bad Turkey. Well, it could be worse. It could be that area. Bad jokes in 2026. Yes, bad jokes for 2026. Plus, who doesn't like 2026? It seems great so far. Great so far. Definitely not going to become World War III. Thus far. Thus far. Keyword thus far. And they're getting ready for something as they annex Crimea. Yes, everyone. You know how Russia says Crimea is Russian and Ukraine says Ukrainian? Well, it's always been Turkish. I recognize Crimea as a part of Turkey now. Is that for the video or is that for real? With them going after Lebanon. Poor little Lebanon. They just can't get a break. And Iran is like, no, you bad boy. Get out of my friend! Okay. They're very angry. But I mean, if you were called Iran, I think you would be angry too. If ever I was like, I ran to Turkey because I was hungry. Making fun of two nations, but it was too greasy. Ooh. So I went to Italy. Anyways, I've never been to Italy. I've only been in North and South America. Best areas of the world. Argumentatively. With Turkey being like, oh no, this is the end. With a Turkish unit saying, you sure about that? As they pretend it's Rise of Kingdoms because they're lame 17-year-olds who play Minecraft. Wait, what? Minecraft is great. With Iran launching another offensive. Yes, they are strong. Yeah, they're going to collapse in on themselves. If Iran collapses, it won't be from anyone else. It'll be from their own politics. Honestly. With an honest voice. Yes. They move into the north and free Azerbaijan! Yes, definitely what they're doing. We are freeing the Russians in Donbass. Definitely true. Don't trust. Don't trust world leaders. They're all secretly working together. That's why the world is falling apart. Because of 4 nations. Actually 5, but one of them we don't mention. For the obvious regions. It's literally Iran, Saudi Arabia, the US, China, Russia, and the nation that nobody likes to mention. That causes all the world wars. Although it's not world wars. Imagine if world wars already started and nobody knows about it. And well, after taking over this, Iran is like, well, we should probably negotiate. Yes, you don't get good negotiation. Yeah, they forgot to annex Lebanon because they were busy with another nation, which they annexed the best lands of Iran. Yay. With Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait and Egypt signing a secret treaty. As they decide to move to Balkan land, but what they didn't realize was going to war with Greece, they made allies. Bah, 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 bah. Bah, 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 bah. Yes, they all agree. And Albania ends up joining this coalition because they get war declared on. Sorry, Albania, I didn't mean to harm you, but I mean, it's not my fault. It's Turkey's fault for being greedy over the Adriatic Sea. Let's be honest. As they take over Crete, and the Balkans were like, we're going to win. Nope. Bulgaria, what are you doing? Can you try harder? Like, you lost both world wars, and now you're losing against... You lost both world wars. What? The Second Balkan War, and now you're losing against Turkey? That's embarrassing. Fine, used to be a great kingdom. The Bulgarian kingdom. Is it a kingdom or empire? The one that was in the middle of Russia? Yeah, they changed spots. And while they connect into Greece, taking Athens, and they move north. And Bulgaria realizes what's its point of existence and gives up. Romania loses Bucharest and then its coast. Romania, just try harder, please. No, they move into Macedonia and into Serbia and Albania, with this becoming their borders. Nope, they continue, with Sarajevo following, and then all of Serbia, Romania, and Moldova surrender. They annex some controversial territories. Yes, and they do stuff that they shouldn't do, like they did in Patak. Yes, they're evil again. But on the plus side, their borders are pretty cool. And they also annex Cyprus without a war, because without Greece, they just give up. They give up. They're like, yes, we love you, Turkey. They don't, but let's just say that. And well, they annexed some questionable lands at best, and at worst, oh, yes, are you trying to start ethnic cleansing, Turkey? Be honest. It can't be that bad. With them focusing on another war, and they don't really care about Russia's land anymore. Why not, you may ask? Why don't they want Russia's land, you may ask? Because they don't. As they made an agreement with Russia. They said they would take over these 3 nations and Russia wouldn't retaliate. In exchange, they did some stuff. They let Russia do whatever it wanted. Instead, you can have northern Ukraine, we'll take the southern part. And not all the southern part. With them moving in. Wait, they came in from the north, that's weird. Well, Turkey is quickly forming its empire. With a few more nations to go, with Ukraine and the Middle East being on its bucket list. Before it collapses due to the Balkans. Yes, everything bad happens in the Balkans. If it's good, it's not in the Balkans. No, I'm kidding. It could be in the Balkans. Maybe the Balkans will make peace. Never. Making fun of the Balkans, day 1. Oh, great. That was a great idea. Day 2. Ooh. This area disappeared. I don't know what it's called. Who owns it? Yeah, the Holy State. Yes, the Vatican. Greater Vatican. Greater Vaticanism. We can give them Israel and the Sinai Peninsula and make them a part of Turkey to show that Turkey isn't evil. But they probably are. With them moving in like this, take oil, because, well, that's what Turkey does. They don't have enough, so you should invade Saudi. And then they invade from this direction. And then they do this. Oops. And then they take Riyadh And after taking Riyadh, the country is like, well, we should give up. And Egypt is like, ah! And then they're like, fine, we give up. And they're like, well, you probably shouldn't have, but since you did, we'll be nice. And only take this. Yes, Egypt, you just got ripped off. Well, Saudi Arabia, you lost this land. And you think you're done? Nope, you lost this land on top of it. Yes, you're really on a losing streak. Not only did you lose your land, you lost most of your coast. And you know what? That's the only good sand you have on your coast. For some reason. Anyways. Let's give them, yes, that, this, this. And now for their final attack on Ukraine. And they do have Russia invading the north. But we'll just focus on what bad they're doing, because like Turkey's our focus right now. So we don't need to see what bad Russia does. Because let's just be real, they're always up to no good. And well, they're just taking this land. Because they want control over the wheat. Although the wheat can grow anywhere very much. Which is probably all destroyed, for being realistic. But let's give Turkey what they desire. Yes, this is what they decide to take. I'm sure Ukraine is thrilled about it. But let's give up their land to Turkey. Pretty good idea. What's Turkey going to do about it? And well, with them expanding across 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa, they decide they're pretty good. They're not hungry anymore, they're Turkey. So they decide it's time to chill, and well, that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out. When on delete subscribe. Bye, guys!